Hey, third grade, how did you do yesterday? Did you do okay on your math? Let me know if there were any struggles so that I can help talk you through it. We're going to do it again today, but we're going to add a little bit to it. So I just want to make sure that you are set and knowing what you need to do. Um, so we'll go through it some more just to kind of get you prepped and ready for sure. So just be thinking carefully. Some of you were struggling a little bit on your 3 multiplication on the top times 2 on the bottom. Remember, it's just taking everything on the top, multiplying it by the ones place, and then putting your 0 in the bottom, and then multiplying everything on the top times the tens place. So make sure to get every number. Some of you weren't getting every single number and you weren't carrying over. So remember, if you, just like in regular multiplication, you carry over to the hundreds place. So don't miss that. I did try to show you that on your pages. So make sure if it's 63 that you carry the 6 over, because there is a place to carry it over to now. So carry it over, then multiply, whatever times 7, then add the 6, then write your answer, because some of you are getting way longer answers because you weren't carrying over. So remember, we always carry if there's a place to carry to. The only time that we don't carry is when there's no other, thousands, hundreds place or something else to carry to. So I'll try to go through that again in the next video or so, just to kind of make sure you've got it. But just be aware of that, because that's an important thing that I noticed that we weren't quite getting. All right, so we are going to review today, and I wanted to do this because this one is actually 3, and we've done 3 before, but it's been a while since we have. So I want to make sure that you are remembering how we do our measurement problems. So we have 3 yards plus 1 foot minus 6 inches equals, our inches are missing. So all that we do is write the same clues: blank inches plus blank inches minus blank inches equals blank inches. Everything on the bottom is what is missing every time. Blank inches plus blank inches minus blank inches equals blank inches. That's it, okay? And so when you find the 2 that are the same, yard inch, no. Foot inch, no. Inch, yes. Bring that same number down, because 6 inches is always going to equal 6 inches. When you find those that are different, yard inch, yes. Box it. Oh, wait, but we still have another one that's different. Foot inch, that's different. So guess what? We're also boxing it. And once we put the box, right, you already know 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, very easy. So yards to inches, is it larger to smaller or smaller to larger? Yards are larger, inches are smaller, multiply. Good. Then S for special number. How many inches are in 1 yard? Think about our measures. There are 36 inches in 1 yard. So I take my larger number, 36, do what number 1 says, multiply by my smaller number in the box, 3. 6 times 3, 18, carry over. Remember, see, that's what I'm saying. We carry it over. We don't write 18. We don't write the 1 here. We carry it over, which is what some of you weren't doing when it was the bigger numbers. It's the same as what we normally do for multiplication, with the 2 numbers or 3 numbers on the top times 2 on the bottom, okay? Then we do 3 times 3 plus 1, which is 10. And this is where, if there was a 100ths place here, I would carry my 1 over with a plus sign. But since there's not, I just put it in the hundreds place. Okay, so that's one of the things that we were missing. Anyway, so 108 goes here in my blank. But I still have to do the second box. Feet to inches, larger to smaller or smaller to larger, excuse me. Feet are also larger than inches, which are smaller. So again, we multiply. So put our multiplication sign, then S for special number. How many inches are in 1 foot? Know your measures. This is why we know our measures, so that we know it's 12, and circle it because it's so special. Take my larger number, 12, do what number 1 says, multiply by my smaller number in the box, 1. And that equals, obviously, 12, yes. So you just put 12 in the box, in the blank. Now I have to solve my bottom problem. 108 inches plus 12 inches. What's 108 plus 12? 120. 120 minus 6. It would be 114. Very good. 114 inches, and you put it both in the top and the bottom blanks. That's it. Really simple to do, okay? So think that through carefully as you work through those. Really look at that and make sure that you are understanding and get that down, because if you don't have that down, that's going to be a little deterrent to next year. All right, so now we're going to move down so we can do our division. So this is very similar to what we were talking about yesterday. We've already begun working division problems with 2-digit divisors. The only difference in the ones that we solve today is that there's one more digit in the dividend, okay? So yesterday we did just 2 digits in the dividend. Today we're doing 3 digits in the dividend. Since the divisor of this problem has 2 digits, remember it has 2 digits in the divisor side, then we need to divide into the first 2 digits of the dividend. So to help us remember to do that, what did we do yesterday to help us remember to divide into the first 2 digits, or to divide into both digits? We drew a line. So you're going to do the same thing, but you're still going to just do over the first 2, okay? So you draw a line, because these are 2 out here, you draw a line over the first 2 to help us remember that we're dividing into the first 2 dividends. 2 digits in the dividend. So we haven't learned a 20 multiplication or division table, okay? Because we don't need to. As long as we've learned up to 12, then we're good. So since we don't know a 20 division table, we ask ourselves not how many 20s are in 57, but if we break it down, what did we say yesterday? Just take the first digit and the first digit and ask how many 2s are in 5, because I can count 2, 4, 6, oh, that's too big, 2, 4, and figure out how many 2s would be in 5. So my answer has to go over top of the end of my line, which is over my 7. That's where my 2 goes. Then after I figure out that, that there are 2 2s in 57, we're dividing into that first 2, and that 2 goes over the second digit, 7. Now we simply multiply. Multiply 2 times 20. You can draw a bigger pickle if you want to help, but we know that by now that we multiply the outside numbers. So we simply multiply 2 times 0. And you're not going to put it over here because we didn't go into 570 yet. We just went into 57. So you put your 0 under the 7. Then you do 2 times 2, and that's 4, and put your 4 under the 5. So because we figured out how many, so now we figured out, oh, there's 2 20s in 57, because 20, 40, if we could have, counted by 20s, but 60, oh, that's too big because we can't go to 60 because it's only 57. So there's 2 20s in 57 is what we figured out, but we did it easier by doing how many 2s are in 5, okay? That we're breaking it down. Then I simply subtract 57 minus 40, 7 minus 0, and 5 minus 4, 1. So that equals 17. 17 is smaller than 20, so we are ready for the next step. We compare. to make sure, just like we've been doing. And that's why we learned all of those steps, remember? Because that's going to help you with these bigger problems, which is what I was trying to tell you all year long. This is why you've got to follow those steps. This is why you've got to follow those steps. Some of you wanted to take shortcuts, but we can't take shortcuts until we know the basics, because now some are struggling with division, but others of you are like, oh yeah, this is the next step. So that's going to help you. So once we have compared, what's our next step? It's to bring down, okay? So we can't just leave it at 17. We have to bring down. Now the answer is 170 after we bring down that 0. Now we're going to divide 20 into 170. We do this the same way that we did the first dividing step, by asking how many groups of 2. We're not going to go into 1 this time though, because there's no 2's in 1, but we can figure out how many 2's are in 17, the first 2 digits, okay? So we're going to figure out how many 2's are in 17, okay? So the first time we just go into the first digit, because how many 2's are in 5, but because there's no 2's in 1, we go into both digits. We're not going to figure out how many 2's are in 170. No, figure out how many 2's are in 17. That's going to tell us how many 20's are in 170. Okay? So how many 2's are in 17? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Oh, 18's too big, so it's got to be 16, which is 8. Right. So my 8 goes right above my 0. And now I multiply 8 times 20. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 2 is 16. See how that worked? And then I subtract 0, 1, and then that obviously is 0. It is less. 10 is less than 20, so 10 becomes my remainder. Well, you know what? Maybe you're still not sure. Okay, then let's check it. 28 times 20. 0 times 8, 0. 2 times 0, 0. And then we always have to put our 0 first. And then we multiply everything times our tens place. 8 times 2, 6. Carry over my 1 with my plus sign. 2 times 2, 4. Plus 1 is 5. Then I am going to add my partial products. 0, 6, 5, and then I have to add my remainder. 0, 6 plus 1, and 5 plus 0. Ugh, sorry, I'm trying to write at an angle. This is horrible. It looks like a 7, I mean a 5, an S, whatever it is. Okay, here we go. There we go. So 570 equals 570. Okay, so that's all that you're doing when you are looking at these. We're just doing that same thing that we've been doing, but we're just breaking it down because the numbers are way bigger than maybe our minds are able to handle. So break it down to where your mind can handle it. So that we do the same thing when we look at 30 into 650. How many 30s are in 650? 650 divided by 30 equals what? I don't know, Miss Monroe. Right, we don't need to know. What we need to do is go ahead and think, oh yeah, I just need to figure out how many 30s are in 65 first. So I draw my line over the first 2 digits. Draw your line over the first 2 digits. And then you ask yourself the first digits of each, okay? You're going to just find out right now how many 3's are in 6. That's going to help us know how many 30s are in 65. If we can figure out how many 3's are in 6, that's going to give us that answer. How many 3's are in 6? 3, 6. Oh, well, that was easy. It's going to be 2, and my 2 has to go over my end of my line. It has to go over the 5. And then I have to do what I've normally done. Once I divide, I have to multiply my outside numbers. 2 times 0 equals 0. And 2 times 3 equals 6. See, we figured out how many 30s were in 65 by figuring out how many 3's are in 6. 30, 60, 90, but we don't have to try to do that. In our minds, we can just simply say how many 3s are in 6, 2, 2 times 30 equals 60. And then we subtract 5 minus 0, 5, and compare. Is 5 less than 30? Yes, definitely is. So after we compare, if there's something left to bring down, this time there is, we need to bring down. Now we need to find out how many 30s are in 50, but no, we don't. All we need to find out is how many 3s are in 5. How many groups of 3 are in 5? 1, 2, 3. And then there's 1, 2, it's not 3, so I can't do that. So there's 1 group of 3 in 5. And now I multiply 1 times 30. 1 times 0, 0. 1 times 3, 3. And look, there's 130 in 50. And now I subtract 30 minus 50. 50 minus 30 is 20. But is it less than 30? Yes. So as long as it's less than 30, it can be a remainder. And it is. So my answer to how many 30s are in 650, there's 21, remainder 20, with 20 left over, okay? So let's check it. 30 times 21. 0 times 1, 0. 3 times 1, 3, because we remember we start off with 30 times 1. Then we put our 0 first. Now it's 30 times 2. 0 times 2, 0. 3 times 2, 6. And then we simply add 0, 3, 6. And then we add our remainder of 20. So 0 plus 0, 3 plus 2, 6 plus 0. Look at that, they're equal. Okay, so it is doable and it's pretty quick and easy. If you're just paying attention to that, you'll get it. Okay, we've got 2 more just to really solidify it in your minds. All right, not how many 20s in 84. No, the only thing that we need to ask is how many 2s are in 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. That is 4. And then we multiply. 4 times 0 and 4 times 2. And it's 80. After I've written down my answer, I have to subtract. That's my next step. I have to compare. Is 4 less than 20? Sure is. So then I bring down. I bring down my 0. And now how many 20s are in 40? No, just how many 2s are in 4. And we know that. There's 2 2s in 4. 2, 4. And now I'm multiplying 20 times 2. 2 times 0, 0. 2 times 2 is 4. 40 minus 40 is 0, which is obviously less than 20. So there's no remainder. So my answer is 42. And once again, I can multiply 42 times 20, 0 times 2, 0 times 4, and then 2 times 2, and 2 times 4. And then add them together. 0, 4, 8. Look at there. 840 equals 840. Go figure, okay? All right, and our last one. How many 4s are in 5? We draw a line over the top 2. Draw a line over the first 2 digits and then ask how many 4s are in 5. Very simple. It's 1. Put it over the end line, okay, over the 2. And then multiply 40 times 1. What is 40 times 1? Right, 0 times 1 is 0. 4 times 1 is 4. Write it underneath my 52 so I can subtract. And make sure to subtract all the way. 2 minus 0, 2. 5 minus 4 is 1. So don't forget to put both of those numbers. Then we compare. Is 12 less than 40? It sure is. Then afterwards we bring down. Bring down my 0. So now it's how many 4s and 140s and 120. Well, I can't figure out how many 40s and 120. It's too big right now. So break it down by figuring out how many 4s are in what? not 1. You can't figure out how many 4s are in 1. How many 4s are in 12? Yes. So count by 4s to get to 12. 4, 8, 12. Okay. And that would be 3. So you write 3 over the 0. And now we're multiplying 40 times 3. Or 3 times 40. So 0 times 3. And 4 times 3 is 12. 120 minus 120 is 0. And so there are 13 40s in 520. And same thing, you could take it, simply multiply it, and figure that out. 1's place, 0 times 3, 4 times 3, bring down your 0, 0 times 1, 4 times 1, add those together, 0, 2, 5. Looky there, okay? So I know this was kind of quick because it's a video and we have to do it in a certain amount of time so I don't like overextend the watch time and all of that. Plus I don't want you falling asleep, Jackson. So I'm hoping that went, you know, where you can get it, but please go back. Watch it again to really get it down in your head. We'll go over it some more, but that's why, do you see why I wanted now to kind of introduce that to you before the end of the year? I know you're done with math for some of you and you're like, I just wish we could be done with it. But this is why, because next year you're going to see it a lot more. But if you got introduced to it now and you have that idea, then you're gonna be like, oh, we already did that last year. Okay, I remember this is what I have to now do. Okay, so just trying to help you navigate some of those things. And I hope that worked. And please keep watching this just till it gets like here and throughout, and you can do it, because I know you can, because you're a smart class. So think it through and work hard and do your best. All right, I will see you in the next video. Bye.